Troy some unfamiliarity between these two clubs heading into the series. Just your general thoughts on the first game tonight.
Well, I thought well, on their end, it shook out the way they'd want to shake it out. Obviously, they came in with a very good record and having a good season, and we knew that they could score some goals. Like their stick skills we assess very high, kind of like a Milwaukee, like a very good stick skills, 1 through 12, meaning 1 forward through 12. So I thought, they were what we thought they would be on tape. We weren't quite what we wanted to be, but that's the way it went.
What do you have to change for tomorrow?
Well, I think we have to play with some more emotion. I think we have to manage the game a little bit better and play a little higher energy. But I'm not so sure that this particular group can do that. That's just the facts. So we got to try and muster that up. I don't know if they can do that, this particular group that we're playing with right now, but we have to play with some more emotion, and we have to play with a little bit of passion. And I don't mean in a fighting sense or anything like that, just competitive hockey. Like, we weren't very competitive tonight in some ways, so we have to manage a better game. But as we want to manage a better game, you also have to look at the opponent. If you don't have the puck a lot, it's hard to manage a good hockey game. You're chasing it.
We've talked about just that difficulty coming back in here after a long trip. How do you guys go about, I guess, sorting that out?
Well, it's been for this particular group, and this particular group that played tonight is different than a lot of groups we've brought home. So we haven't been able to, come off the road. And it's different. It's different here. I can't explain. I don't have any excuses for our hockey team as to why we don't play well when we come home. But I can tell you, like, coming off the road, like coaching in Milwaukee or Chicago or Rockford is way different than, and it even was when I was in Houston, like playing in San Antonio and Texas and coming off the road. Like, that's way different there. It's a lot easier. Like, here it's just a different process. It's a couple of time zones. It's change. It's difficult. And as we've seen on the other side of the coin, like, we've went on the road, and I think we would maybe lead the league in wins on the road. So everybody, I think, in this league is fighting hard to get home wins. Like, it's tough. And they came right in here and did what they wanted to do, just like we did in San Antonio on our first trip last game, and we won 5-0. They came in here tonight and won 5-0. It's a difficult process for this whole league. Us, it's a little bit more difficult, but beyond the difficulty, you still have to find ways to get it done, and we haven't found that formula yet.
You guys, you switched up the lines early in the second period there. Were you sensing already that just the chemistry maybe wasn't?
Yeah, we just didn't have a lot of mojo going. I thought we were a little bit out of sorts. With the amount of new players that are in our lineup that are unfamiliar with each other, like, you can't really. Usually lines are done for me and pairs. You find two guys that can play together, and you try and get those two guys to go, and you complement them with a third. And I didn't feel like we had a lot of mojo in any pairs that I tried to create. Obviously, I didn't think Walter and Kalanos got off to a real good start, and they struggled a little bit, but they're always going to be pretty good, so I'm going to keep those guys together because they can weather the storm and they know how to share the puck together. The rest of the group, I just didn't feel like we had a lot of mojo, so we just tried to do some different things to see what would work and how we could play a little bit better and manage the puck. And I don't think anything really changed, though, drastically. Like, it is what it was. It wasn't very good, but that's it's life. It's mid-January. Like, not too worried. Been in this business a long time. Like, it doesn't faze me. Doesn't really faze our hockey team. Like, this is something we got to go through. So we'll go through it together, and we'll stay together, and we'll just find a way.
How do you think you're going to be starting in net tomorrow night?
I don't know. We'll get up in the morning and probably evaluate it. Games like this, when you don't have a lot of emotion, you always can look to maybe change the goalie. That's necessarily not the answer. It's a lot of times how you play in front of them. But at the same time, I want to look at the tape and see how I think Danny played in general. And it's more than just the goals against. It's how he managed the puck and how crisp he was from post to post. And was he out or did he play deep? If he plays deep and we win, you still are a little bit nervous. If he played deep and he loses, well, then you're still nervous there too. Like, the depth of a goalie and his energy and how he comes down and cuts down angles is critical. So I want to watch the tape and see where he's at. And if his movement wasn't where we'd like it, then myself and the staff and Jordan, our goalie coach, will sit down and make the right decision for tomorrow.
Late reassignment coming down the pipe today. Will we see Byron in the lineup tomorrow night?
Yeah, Paul's here now. He got here during the game, so Paul will go in. Carson came in today as well, so we got a vet issue here, so we got to figure out what our nicks and bruises are in there tonight. We got some guys that are banged up a little bit, and then see where we get it tomorrow. But for sure, Paul, like a guy like Paul, will come back and play right away.
Gentlemen, we good? Thank you. Coach, thank you.
Have a good night.